Hi, everyone. In today's training, I'm going to be covering how I replaced my job fast and created a cash flow based retirement plan and how you can too. Now, when I got started in this business or in business in general, these were some of my goals. How to create income fast by leveraging a proven system. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. How to earn true passive income and have more control over my time. How to be financially self-sufficient with all the different things happening in the economy, especially now in 2023. I fell in love with the idea of becoming self-sufficient, not relying on a job or on other people. How to build a cash flow machine and build long-term wealth for an amazing lifestyle. The reason I'm in business is because of lifestyle. Lifestyle is everything. And of course, how to please my spouse and treat my family with nothing but love and respect. So these were some of the goals when I got into business that I had for myself. And now these are some of the goals that I've got for you today. Now, we've got to identify the problem before we find a solution. So when I got into learning about business, entrepreneurship, investing, etc., um, let me go back. I've done some research, and maybe you guys already know this, but this is the biggest problem Americans are facing today. The retirement problem, right? Now, let's say you want to retire now or within the next few years, and you can somehow live comfortably off of $10,000 a month, okay? Where I live in the Washington, D.C. area, $10,000 a month, it's still lower middle class, unfortunately, just because of the rate of inflation. But let's say you could live off of 10 G's a month and you anticipate on living 20 years after the day you truly retire. Well, my friends, what we've learned how to do and what I want to show you how to do is how to always follow the math, because businesses can lie, people can lie, I could lie. Numbers don't lie. All right. Now, if you want to retire with a distribution of $10,000 a month and you want to live 20 years, well, mathematically, you need a little over $3.4 million in your employer sponsored retirement account. Now, here's your first action item I want you to do from today's training. If you're working somewhere, if you're working for someone, take a look at what's in your retirement account now and start calculating how much is going to be in there by the time you've worked for that workplace for 30 years. Now, I've talked to thousands of people, right? And many times what happens when people are in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s, they look at their retirement account, their 401k, their 403b, their TSP plan, whatever it may be, and they realize that they're not going to have enough money in retirement. Now, let me give you an idea of what happens when Americans retire if you're not there yet. Typically, you've been putting money into an account uh, every pay period. Now, what happens is that lump sum of money sits there and it's typically invested in like mutual funds or some type of what we call a fixed income annuity. Okay. So you get your retirement package and they're like, congratulations, you've got income for life. All right. Maybe whatever it is, because they take whatever you have in your retirement account and they typically invest it into that fixed income annuity, which will then produce you some income for life. Now, here's the problem. The fixed retirement, as well as maybe Social Security, if you're at age, it's just not enough. Okay. It's not enough to live off of. In fact, that's the problem that most people have. Now, instead of waiting 30 years to retire and live a great life, today I'm going to show you how to create a true cash flow based retirement plan that you can execute in the next, I don't know, 5 to 7 years max, um, which is proven because I've done it. So let's get into this. So the solution you're about to find out. Now, before we move any further, I just want to introduce to you who I am. My name is Umair. I was born and raised in Virginia, went to elementary school, middle school, and high school right here. And I struggled all throughout school. Okay. I'm ADHD. I was labeled with a learning disability. I'm dyslexic. I really struggled with the traditional model of education and get a job. So when I left high school, a year or two after, I started going to community college, and I was really struggling. $350 a credit. And I think if I remember correctly, I needed 70 credits just to get my associate's degree. I was struggling big time. At the time, I was doing some professional boxing and mixed martial arts. You guys can look up some of my fights on YouTube. I did well as an amateur, but as I got older, I knew I didn't want to get punched in the face for a living, right? So at the time, I was doing personal training. I was fighting with professional mixed martial arts and working multiple little hustles. At the time, I was also living with my mom and dad in their basement. I just didn't have enough money to live on my own. So I was making less than $30,000 a year, literally trying to figure out what to do with my life. I was learning a lot of stuff on the internet, right? I was on the University of YouTube. I was on things like Bigger Pockets. I would stream and look for ways of getting rich, right? I never grew up with money. My family's initially I'm first generation from Pakistan, so I didn't grow up with money. In fact, my mom and dad worked at 7-Elevens and convenience stores growing up, and it's just heartbreaking because my dad even got a business degree from America. Ultimately, he ended up working at the United States Postal Service, and at 68 years old, realized that he wasn't going to have enough money. I mean, he's got good credit. He buys things cash. My dad cuts coupons. And I said, wow, I don't want to go through the same things my parents did. So I set out on a journey to figure out how to create more financial flexibility in my life. Now, this is my wife, Yas. I don't know if you guys that are listening to me on this training, if you're married or not, or if you have a serious relationship, but it was really difficult getting my soon-to-be wife on the same page with me. And this is what I told her, and I'm going to prove this to you. I said, baby, your job is going to cost our family way too much money in the long term. So I showed her the numbers, and 4.5 years ago, she decided to leave her job and embark on this journey with me. Okay. So this is a cool book. I just want to give a shout out to this book. It really helped me with my mindset because, as most of us, I was taught to be poor. All right. So enough about me. Today is not about me. It's about you. I'm going to show you how to replace a job fast and possibly even do it with $0 out of pocket. So let's get through this. Oh, I almost forgot. How could I forget? My why. This is my why. This is my daughter, baby Sophia. She just turned 1 August 1st of 2023. And I grew up not really building a serious, strong, loving relationship with my parents because many times they were fighting over money or arguing about who gets what. And I never wanted to bring children on this planet and have them feel the things that I felt or see the things that I saw. And it's a big piece of why I'm here today talking to you. I'm seriously passionate about what I do and the people I get the opportunity to work with. But this is my why. She's my pride and joy. And I'm just super grateful that I get the opportunity to spend time with her every day. In fact, I just put her down for her nap. So I'm here hanging with you. All right. So today we're going to talk about how I created an annual passive income of over 6 figures in just 3 years. Okay. A lot of people want to wait it out and wait for retirement. Well, guys, today I'm going to show you how to change that just by changing the method or the system, the process, whatever you want to call it. All right. So here's the business model. I'm just going to share it with you guys today. So I buy houses, businesses, mobile home parks in rural areas where there's literally no competition. I execute lease options. And if you don't know what those are, don't worry, I'll share. And what I fell in love with doing is holding the financing, or in other words, being the bank. The largest conglomerates on our planet today, there are 2 conglomerates that really run the globe, and those are banks and insurance companies. Now, I'm not powerful enough to change the whole system, but if you can't beat them, join them. So I was like, how could I take advantage of what these conglomerates do and just use a tad of their techniques to build my own family's wealth? All right. So I'm going to talk more about you being the bank. My wife laughs. My name is Umair, but I call our family bank Bank of Umerica, and I'll finance anyone, right? But I had to learn how the game and the system works. Now, we're also going to talk about leveraging the Great Migration. Have you guys noticed that People in San Francisco, Chicago, Washington, D.C., these huge metropolitan areas, a lot of them are migrating down south to more rural areas. And think about why, right? You're going to see people from LA going to Texas, from DC going to the Carolinas. It's what I call the Great Migration. People are able to work from home. There's a lot of subcontractors and self-employed people that have businesses that want to take advantage of the lower cost of living and the areas around our great nation. So I'm going to talk more about leveraging what I call the Great Migration. And of course, money wouldn't be great to make it if you didn't sit back and enjoy the good life. So let's dive more into this. So first, I would like to give you guys some context, right? If you're brand spanking new, what is a lease option? All it is you rent a property for a set period and provide the tenant an option to buy that piece of property for a set price at a later date. All right, that is all it is. You're renting it and you're providing an option. Like in stocks, they have options. In real estate, they have options. I've created our passive income stream using real estate. Okay, so a lease with an option is important to understand. Now, let's give you some more context. What is seller finance? Seller finance, or being the bank, it's when a private individual like yourself owns a property and decides to finance to another person, aka being the bank. Have you guys ever heard this saying? Those who understand interest earn it, and those who don't typically give it away. Today, I want to give you the opportunity to earn it, okay? So now let's just lay one more quick piece of framework. How do mortgages or deed of trust work? Now, all across America, banks give either a mortgage or a deed of trust, depending on what state you live in. And I got super interested in how mortgages work. Now, you guys may or may not know this, but anytime you go and get a loan from the bank, they give you a mortgage or a deed of trust. Now, what happens when you get a home loan is all of these loans are what we call front-end loaded. Front-end loaded, all right? Now, what that means is we pay a lot of interest to the banks month after month after month. A lot of interest, mostly in the beginning of that loan. You're paying mostly interest and usually like $1 to a couple of dollars off of principal. And I noticed this and I was like, wow, by the time an American gets done paying a bank back for their home loan, they're paying double or triple of what the face value or the purchase price of that home is. And I was like, man, interesting. I wonder if a private person like me could do something like that. And we can. And I'm going to show you guys more about how. All right. And here's the trick, right? And I really want you guys to understand what happens. A lot of times Americans are on a fixed income, and it's so unfortunate, right? But we get 5 to 7 years inside of our loans. And then we get a funny call from the bank. Have any of you ever got a call like this? Congratulations, Joe. You've been approved for a lower monthly payment. Now, traditionally, banks have gotten Americans to do a refinance every 5 to 7 years. And I'm not saying a refinance is good or bad. If you are on a fixed payment, a lower monthly payment can definitely alleviate some pressure. But did you guys know that every single time you do a refinance, well, the clock on the mortgage note, the clock on that loan begins all over again? I told my family this. I said, guys, unconsciously, most of us have just been renting the American dream. I just started to wake up to why they called it the American dream in the first place. All right. So I know I went off into a tangent and I apologize about that, but obviously you can see I'm super passionate about sharing this with people. So we talked about, just as a quick recap, we talked about lease options on real estate. Okay. We talked about seller financing. And then I wanted to give you some insight on how mortgages actually work. Okay. Let's dive deeper. So I want to show you some houses that I've been able to do this with first. So I bought this home. I actually was able to buy a bundle of houses from a retiring landlord. So you'll see a lot of the purchase prices on my properties the same, okay? But there's multiple ways to buy properties, and if we have time, I'll get into it. So bought it for 30. I didn't put any money into this. Doesn't even look that good, right? It's just like, wow, look at this little beater over here. So I'm all in for the same price that I bought it for, but I found someone who wanted to do a rent to own deal. Did you know that 80% of the American population is unbankable, meaning the banks won't touch them? So people like you and me can provide tremendous value to the marketplace. So I charged my tenant buyer a $1,500 option, just 1,500 bucks. I used it as their down payment. It's a non-refundable option for them to purchase this property for a set price at a later date. Now, when they purchase the property, they could use a bank or all finance them. So I'm really trying to provide value to the people who want to own their own home. So I rent this out for $599 a month. And after 12 months of the family renting it, I sold this to them for $59,900, right? Because I control the financing and I control the interest rate. So I can really help create a solution to problems that a lot of Americans are having. Now, remember, this $59,900 is the face value of the note or the mortgage or the financing. Does that make sense, guys? Let me give you other examples. This property I actually got for free. I've been getting into buying mobile home parks in rural areas. So I'll tell you the story later, but I got this one for free with a mobile home park purchase that I did. It just came along with the price. So immediately, I put this on the market. I advertised it using the internet, and I got monthly rent for $700 a month. Now, the tenant buyers want to own this property, right? They want to fix it up. They want to make it their home. They want to raise their kids in it. So I charged a $2,000 option, right? Remember, non-refundable option. And I sold this price for $99,900. So this is a property I got for free that came with another purchase, but I made an additional $100,000 on the deal. Guys, this stuff is gold. Now, I don't have a college degree. I'm not great at math. I just started learning these principles that rich people were using to create wealth, okay? Now, here's another one. This one is in the middle of nowhere on a nice piece of land. I met an elderly lady that wanted to live by herself. I'm not going to say any names to protect people's identity, but purchased this for $32,000. Put $1,500 into this. That's it. I painted it. I fixed some cracks and sealed some stuff up. So I'm all in for a little under $34,000. I charged the tenant buyer a $3,000 option. And typically when I finance them, if I finance them, this is a trick and I want to teach you guys. I take whatever option I've collected and I decrease it from the sales price, right? Because it's sort of like I'm going to credit that as their down payment towards the home, right? Because I control the numbers, I control the financing, and now so can you. So I rent it for $725 for 12 months. And typically when I hold the note, I want to make sure that I'm setting up my tenants for success. So when I'm constructing their monthly payments, I keep them exactly the same as they were when they were renting. So this is just another example of how to create stream after stream after stream of income until we hit your target. I almost forgot. I should have said this in the beginning. Right now, if you're listening to me, write down specifically what your ideal income target is. Everyone wants to live a different type of lifestyle, but if you don't have a target, you're not going to hit it. Let me show you guys some more. This is another property I purchased for $25,000. There are some people like, where the heck are you buying these properties at? 25 grand? Guys, they're all over America, literally all over America. There's properties like this in Ohio, in Tennessee, in South Carolina, North Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. You just got to understand what to do. So I bought this for 25 grand, put $5,000 into this. So I'm all in for $30,000. Come on. There's people who buy and finance vehicles for a lot more than this, and they're not even nice cars. So $700 in monthly rental income, charged a $3,000 option. So I collected that. That's mine to keep. And the tenant purchase price on this one, $79,900. Okay. Now I'm selling them at the market value or a little above the typical market value because I'm doing them a favor and holding the financing regardless of the credit, right? So there's really a win-win situation created here. Now, here's another one. I bought a number of properties and I'm still buying on the same street. People are finding out what I'm doing, and I'm actually having people all around these little towns that I invest in come to me. Umair, can you get me a house? Umair, can you get me a house? And it's just like word of mouth has never been better. So purchased for 28 grand, zero rehab. I'm all in for 28. Now, this one in particular, I haven't sold yet, but I'm just renting it out and collecting the passive income. Now, I know some of you guys are thinking, man, but you got to deal with tenants, toilets, termites, repairs. Oh, what a headache. And what if I'm far away from these properties? Don't worry, guys. We've set up a proven system to overcome all of these little nuances. What I've noticed is wealthy people, they don't major in the minor stuff. They're big picture thinkers. Are you a big picture thinker? Here's another one, purchased for 22.5, rehab is 5 grand, renting it out for $700 a month. Now, this one I just purchased this month. Okay, so what are we in? We're in September of 2023. My friends, I'm in the trenches. This isn't something I used to do. I'm currently doing it and absolutely loving it because I get to help others and I get to make a great living doing so. So purchased for $12,000 from a retired landlord. Now this one, my rehab is going to be a lot more. It is tore up from the floor up. So I'm all in a little under 50 grand, not usually in for this much, but I've been making such great returns that I've been pouring them back into buying more. So I'm going to rent this out for $700 a month. And again, this one is not yet complete. Here's another one I did, just a simple house, not shiny or sexy or something that anyone would ever look at, right? But purchased it as part of a bundle deal, zero in rehab, all in. I haven't sold this one yet either, but I'm collecting $700 in rent. And what I like to do is whatever market I'm investing in, I like to keep my rents at least 0.25% below what most other landlords are charging. Guys, what we want to do as good entrepreneurs and business people is we want to provide more value than what we take from the marketplace. And as we provide the marketplace value, the marketplace will reward us with riches. So I want to help you become a man or woman that provides massive value in markets all across this amazing nation of ours because it's available. And the timing is now. Here's another one, Cotton Street. Bought this for $18,000. We put $10,000 just to get this rentable. Paint, carpet, some sheetrock, a little bit of fixing and patching the roof. So I'm all in for $28,000. I charged a $3,000 option to purchase this, and I'm currently renting it out for $800 a month. Now, the total purchase price on this is $79,900, but we haven't had the tenant buyer execute their option yet. So this one's a work in progress. So here's another one. So you guys can see I'm all in for $30,000. I've charged a $2,500 option because that's just what they had available. I said, you know what? I got your back. Renting it out for $600 a month, and the sales price is $89,900. But I just want to put another quick reminder in there. Just because, well, if they buy it from a bank, like if they go to a bank and the bank gives them money, yes, I'll get cashed out and I'll get $89,900 in my business bank account. But if they choose to get financed by Bank of America, well, you know that this is the face value of that note, and they're going to pay me principal and interest over time. And guys, just because banks do 30-year mortgages doesn't mean that we have to. You can do a 10-year, a 15-year, a 30-year, a 5-year. It all depends how we choose to structure the deal. Here's another one, guys, and this is another deal I bought as part of a package deal from a retiring landlord. Purchase price was a little over $30,000. I put 3 grand into this. I'm all in a little under $34,000. Same thing. Guys, are you guys starting to get the point? As you start understanding investing in business and how people make things work, you can copy and do the same thing. This is another one that I'm currently renting out. And this is the thing, guys. I live in the Washington, D.C. area. My properties, some of them are 8 hours away from me. And when I first got into this business, I was like, how the heck is that possible? Well, technology allows us to grow and scale fast just because of where we're at in the marketplace. All right, here's another one, guys. Clinton Street, same thing. charge a $3,000 option, $700 in rent, and I'll keep the mortgage right around the same price, $7 to $750. Tenant purchase price, $89,900 on seller financing all day. Sit back and collect those checks. Here's another one. $17,000 purchase price, rehab was 10 grand. So these aren't fancy, sexy houses. They're bare bones minimum. In fact, they're even lower than bare bones minimum. But people need housing and they want to sometimes fix these houses themselves. So I'm like, cool, here's your canvas, paint away. I am just providing value to the people where banks would turn them down all day. So here's another one. This is a fantastic deal. So this is a big piece of land. All right, big piece of land. I bought the mobile home and the big piece of land for $6,500. I mean, people don't believe me. And if you're one of those, I will show you my closing documents. I love showing people how this works. So I've rented this out for $600 a month. I charged a $1,500 option. Now this has been my best deal yet. I took this land because it's a big piece of land, and the family, what they want to do is create a homestead where they grow their own food and they have pigs and chicken and all kind of animals. And they're saying that, hey, they've got a business model where they can take the land and create profits with it. And I love entrepreneurship. And I told him, I said, look, you can have all the land, every piece, all the acres on the land. You can have the mobile home for $150,000. I'll finance you, and I'll even work with you on the payment. So I get paid, they get to run their business model, everyone wins. Oh, this has been awesome. So I also got into buying mobile home parks. Now, guys, I know there's a stigma around mobile home parks, but I go where nobody else will, so I can live how no one else does, okay? So I'm going to do some additional trainings on mobile home parks, but why I fell in love with them is they are way better than apartment complexes. Let me explain why. Well, owning mobile home parks, little mobile home parks, not the ones owned by REITs. If you don't know what a REIT is, that stands for Real Estate Investment Trust, right? They go out and they buy big stuff, right? So you want to fly right under that radar. The reason I fell in love with mobile home parks is I make money off of the lot rent. Okay. And then if I own the homes, I make money off of the homes and I can sell those on financing, or I can simply rent the homes out. I make double the income with not as much effort. I've had some apartment building owners, and once one unit, someone starts complaining, there could be another one that starts complaining, and it could cause a big ordeal in your apartment buildings. So I wanted to figure out ways to maximize cash flow and minimize risk. And I'm looking forward to doing a training on mobile home park investing. Okay. But check this out. Right when I bought this, it was producing $3,500 of income. And I still have 4 empty lots. So I'm looking for some used homes to increase my monthly income. So here's another one I bought, guys. I'm not going to do too much on the mobile home park space, but with this little old raggedy park that I bought from a retiring landlord, there was 9 tenant-owned homes, and they were paying $200 a month in lot rent. And there are 5 park-owned homes, meaning I own the lot and the home. And for those, we're charging $600 a month. But for now, this park is producing a total of $4,800 of income. Okay, now here's another one, same thing, and this park is bringing in another $4,900 of income. Now I call this a triplex deal, but it's not a triplex. I bought all 3 of these little brick-built houses are on one parcel of land, and I'm currently renting them out. I haven't financed them or anything like that, but I have a plan, guys. My plan is to subdivide the plot of land and sell each on financing for $60,000 per home. Yay! I love it. So I've been able to create this revenue stream of my annual gross income is a little over $300,000. And I've also brought in a little over $20,000 in option income. All right. Now, in just 3 years of really just putting the pedal to the metal, following the system, and working my butt off, I can sit back and relax. I told my wife this. I said, baby, let's do what we can for the next 5 to 7 years so we can chill for the rest of our lives. Are you down? And once I gave her the plan, showed her what we're going to do, she had no choice but to be on board. Right? Okay, now I do want to put this out there, guys. I did not factor in taxes, insurance, deferred maintenance, and part of my option income collected was shared with private capital and partners. Now, when I first got started in this business, I didn't have a lot of money saved up. So what I do is I help others earn double-digit returns backed and secured by a tangible asset, aka the property. Okay. So we've got trainings on specifically how to raise capital and how to go about doing it. And it's not just going to someone and ask them if you can borrow money. And in the future, I would love to do some trainings on how to raise capital and how to provide value to all of your investors. Now, I've got a four phase plan that I went through. I was like, okay, because other people were like, Umair, like, how did you do this? Can you help me? Can you show me how to do it? And I want to help everyone. And so here's my training. Follow my four phase plan. Phase one, well, first, guys, I've got to help you get some context, some understanding, right? Like there's only so much you've got out of today's training. If I could, I would just teach it all. But I want to give you a way to really learn the ins and outs of real estate investing. And it starts by laying your foundation. And these are the exact classes that I took. Now, I didn't make these classes. I don't sell these classes. I am not the creator of these classes, but I've taken these classes and they are 5 to 8 hours long each. And these classes are called the Essentials in a real estate investing coursework that I now offer. And I am an affiliate. So I may get paid a little affiliate money. I just want to be transparent about that. If you end up using my four-phase plan. Now, the essentials is stuff that we should have learned in high school, but unfortunately, the system wants to keep us broke. So it really goes into understanding how the banks, the corporations, and the governments work. It goes into understanding interest. It goes into understanding the tax and legal strategies of the rich rather than struggling, not having enough money left over at the end of every month. So this has been life-changing. So in phase one, you're going to learn it. We're going to work together every week. You're going to ask a ton of questions, and we're going to give you some guidance on executing on this plan. Phase two, I've got these 4 courses that I'm going to have you learn. After you've learned them, you're going to come to me, and we're going to give you some context, and we're going to give you some additional resources, and you're going to execute. My friends, it's all about being in the doing. In the past, I bought classes and courses and all this stuff that they sell online, but ultimately I was left by myself. I want to be here with you every step of the way. So in phase two, you're going to go through understanding mortgages, understanding contracts, the title, escrow, and closing process, and understanding tenants and rental agreements in the marketplace that we're going to help you get started in. In phase three, this is the third phase of really understanding, is you got to start understanding lease options at a deeper level, private and hard money, seller financing, and subject to purchase strategies. And this class, which is really one of my favorites, it's team up with tenants for bigger pockets. It's a business model that I've copied, and now I'm handing over to you. In phase four, there's a total of 7 courses where you're going to really understand how to be the bank, how to do the financing, and how to set things up. Once you've got the context in your head, I would love to be able to help you duplicate this process. What you're going to do next, if you liked what you heard, if you want to create a cash flow based retirement plan, you're going to want to schedule a 15-minute call with me. During that 15-minute call, we're going to think about ways to help you actually create a plan to achieve your goals. Determine if you've got what it takes. You know, I can't work with anyone. I've been a coach in mixed martial arts. I've done personal training. I love seeing people win, but not everyone has what it takes. So when we hop on a call, I really want to figure out whether you're the type of person that this could really work for. And the last thing, guys, is we want to show you how I began earning income leveraging what I call OPS, OPT, and OPK before using OPM. Now, let me break this down. I want to show you guys how to leverage other people's systems, other people's time, and other people's knowledge before you start using other people's money, right? You never want to just borrow someone's money and lose it. All right. You want to learn how to protect your investors, protect your lifestyle, and most importantly, protect your name. In this life, our name is all we have. Guys, thank you for watching it all the way through. Your next step is to schedule a one-on-one 15-minute call with myself. If the call goes well, we'll schedule another hour together where we drill down into the details of getting you into your first deal, getting you out of your job, and living the life you deserve. I wish you nothing but love and respect. Thanks for tuning in. I love this stuff.